Now, for those who don't know, you know, my man Bruce, he started off as a battle rapper back in the, a few years back. Well, actually, he started off as a rapper, and then he got into battle rap, and then he became an activist, and then he became a state representative, and then he moved out to Arizona. So that's like damn near a lifetime within 10 seconds. So I do want to kind of take it back to Mike Brown,
Right.
because for you, this is where it changed. Now, I do want to ask you, and unless you lived under a rock, you should be familiar with the Mike Brown's, murder that occurred in Ferguson, Missouri in 2016.
2014, that was my fault. August 9th, 2014.
2014. Okay, I felt like
yeah, 16 is when I ran. So
that's when you ran. Yeah, and we're going to talk about that too. Yeah. But I want to talk about this first because I feel like this is when the shift started. Would you agree with that for you?
Absolutely.
Speak to that.
August 9th changed my life. When people say that you can't change overnight, I absolutely changed overnight. August 8th, I was not the person I was August 9th by 1 o'clock.
Right.
It was my son's first birthday. I had all daughters. And I had 4 girls, and so it was my first son. It was his birthday, and I remember at 12 o'clock. I'll never forget. I get on Facebook and I saw Tef Poe, my brother, another artist from St. Louis. He had a picture of a man who we now know as Mike Brown's stepfather, with a cardboard sign that said "Ferguson police just killed my son." So I clicked off real fast. I was like, all right. Probably about 10 minutes later, my mentions start blowing up. My timeline started blowing up, and I see the videos and I see the pictures. And I remember looking at my ex-wife and was like, look, I need to go out. I don't know why I need to go out there. I ain't been no activist. I haven't been woke. I ain't been into none of this, right? But I've been seeing it my whole life. I'm from the hood. But
right.
I think that hit me a different way. And I remember going out there not knowing what I was doing. But quickly figured it out in a couple of days, and like you said, like from that day on, I didn't look back. My whole life changed. My trajectory changed. The way I rap changed. What I rapped about changed. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. Because I like I said, I remember Oops from before this. We actually started rocking with each other. It had to have been 2013 because it was actually before I was even really doing things on URL at the time. This was King of the Dot. This is back when King of the Dot had I see what they trying to do right now in terms of bringing in some of the street artists. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those guys are from URL, but at that time, Lush, One and Aspect was really making a point to bring the streets like that wasn't tapped in with URL yet, right. To their platform. So that's how, me and Daylight and Nitty, Young Nitty, you know what I'm saying, and Danny Myers really came about is through that umbrella, and it, and then the rest is history. But that's when we met. Yeah. So that Oops from when I was seeing you battling then, and back in those days, you damn sure wasn't on that. You know what I'm saying?
And I was on all bullshit.
Yeah, and it's maturation. It is what it is. And, we come from battle rap, you know what I'm saying? Like in terms of, a lot of relationships have been built through that. And I remember what I remember about that situation is I remember you in the streets holding that sign.
Yep.
Like the sign was what made me say like, what is he doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know this is going on, but I'm from Michigan, we both from the Midwest. And if we being honest, and it sucks to even talk like this, but you become desensitized to murder.
Absolutely.
It's really sad.
Absolutely.
Like I literally have I would lose fingers and toes if I counted all the people that was like actually in my life that's not in my life no more.
Facts.
In terms of violence. And it's unfortunate. And you do become desensitized to it. And like you said, it took that situation for you to be like something's different. So once you got to the point to where, all right, something's different, you're out there, you're seeing what's going on. Talk to me about how you got to the point to where you started to lead. Because, talk about it.
I think, so I never really recognized the leadership in me. Right now, one thing I've always recognized is my protect. Like I've always been a protector. My brother got killed in 1991.
God bless.
Yeah, he was my older brother, and so after that, I'm the older brother. So I took that to heart. So it didn't matter, friends, family, whoever. I was a protector, streetwise.
Right.
And so when it came to being out there in the streets, it was like, oh, let me feel my way around first, and then I started to see where the holes were. It's like, okay, bet I could be useful right here. And as I began to implement myself and connect with certain people, it was like, okay, well, you belong in the front lines because you with the shit,
Right.
right? And most of the folks, a lot of the folks, I ain't gonna say most of the folks, a lot of the folks aren't. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't their fault. Everybody ain't made for the front lines.
Right.
And so that's where I found myself first. And that was a quick, I don't even know when that transition was. It was seamless though. It was like, all right, this is what I need to be doing. And I remember going into the front lines, and I remember being so angry, but being so willing to like go the extra mile. And it took for Paul Muhammad, who created the Peacekeepers, and we was just a group who was that liaison between the police and our people. Like we kept our people cool. Like we policed our own folks. Like y'all ain't gonna come over and police them. We gonna police them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's old school. Say what you want about gangs. In terms of, I'm from a GD neighborhood, gangster disciple, but I have it tatted on me. That's really for growth and development.
Right.
Crips really is,
Yeah, my hood
community
was a Crip
revolution and
hood,
progress.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is what it's really about. So, that's old school, and that's really what it's supposed to be about. So
Right.
so go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, and Paul kind of took me in and was like, look, I know because at the time I was a businessman. I owned businesses. Like life was, for me personally, life was good.
Right.
For what I saw. But once I went out there, I had a whole different mindset. And he was like, look, that anger, that passion, that fight. He's like, let's redirect it with our people. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it this way. And so I began to lead in that way. I started to be at the front lines, protecting our people, you know what I'm saying, leading, so on and so forth. And all the way up until December 24th, 2014, when we clashed with the police.
Yeah.
And then after that, the rest was history.
Now, there was footage like they was on you, like they put pause on you, right?
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
And I don't really speak much on this. I mean, I don't got no shame in it, but I can relate to police brutality. Like, I got my ass beat by the police. When you come from certain areas, man, like it becomes kind of second nature where